I think I need another
Shaking around with fucking mascara on his fucking temples, leaking like Tammy Faye Baker just fucking gutted a fish.
I think it's really more about a time when Hollywood thought that Gary Busey made for a decent father figure role model.
Some fucking big thing walks off the launch pad and goes, "Hello, everybody! I'm Bobcat Goldthwait," or something. I don't know. And
That would be incredible.
It's time for the middle class holes.
wait, so what again, Alan? You said the QAnon.
The South Park QAnon vaccine. It's the vaccination special, but it's they spelled South Park with a Q instead of a K.
Is that the where the vaccination is a club they got to get into? Like it's like a
It's Walgreens.
Yeah.
It's a Walgreens in town, but it's the most exclusive place in town.
Uh-huh.
And all the seniors are getting vaccinated and like fucking running amok about town because nobody else is vaccinated. And Mr. Garrison comes back, but if you guys remember correctly, he was basically President Trump for the last like 4 years.
Well, I saw they had pulled the prank on the teacher to make her think she had her period. Then she quit, and it says kind of be careful what you do. It was their first day back, and everyone is like it was a great prank, and now Mr. Garrison's back, and it was all. I just like what was it? They hadn't been to school in months. Right. Yeah. And Butters is like, "Oh, hey guys, how was school?" Like, "I was basically the greatest day I've ever had."
The greatest day ever. You missed
Butters.
it.
I've been out of the South Park game for way too long. I tuned in for one episode where I did see Mr. Garrison as Trump, and I mean, it's not like you're trying to look for continuity in a South Park episode. I'm like, well, what the fuck happened here? Because Mr. Garrison went from just gay teacher with Mr. Handy on his hand to transvestite to transsexual to Trump to whatever the fuck you're talking about he is right now.
He's just back to regular Mr. Garrison.
Yeah, they're fourth
but
grade
which
teacher.
regular Mr. Garrison?
The original one, kind of. Well, I think he's gay still. But, yeah, so I guess the second iteration, because he was regular. I don't think he started off gay. I think he started off regular. Then he became gay. And then he became everything else.
Well, they have had a hell of a run with that show. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say there is some continuity, even though there isn't a whole lot. There is.
Wait, what the hell is that supposed to mean?
It's pretty
there
ridiculous.
Is some continuity. Oh wait, there's a little bit of continuity.
Yeah, because they don't keep it up with everybody.
Okay.
But like he has a pretty continuous story throughout. It's
amazing to think about his evolution now that we're talking about him. That he's back to regular Mr. Garrison because at one point, check this out, and I don't mean to get too serious, but it wasn't okay to be out and gay when South Park started, and then it was, and Mr. Garrison became that. And then remember the whole episode where it's like, well, you can be whatever you want to be, and like Kyle's dad became like a dolphin of some kind. He went down and had himself modified. All because Mr. Garrison wanted to be a woman. Now, it's okay for a man to become a woman. The greatest American athlete that ever was is now a female, And we've gotten that far down the rabbit hole that now if Mr. Garrison just goes back to being regular gay, he's just a normal person. That's how long South Park's been on.
He does have a Secret Service agent that parades around in a G-string.
Yeah, I saw that. That was
a G-string and like a suit jacket.
Let's not get too overzealous with the titles, though. The greatest American athlete there ever was. Yes, Bruce Jenner did win a decathlon, and a decathlon does does warrant the title of greatest athlete at that time. But you say there ever was. Come on with that. Come on with that.
But I do have a question about the whole, because I don't want to dead name Caitlyn, but I'm speaking of Bruce.
Okay.
But if Caitlyn was always what Bruce was, did Caitlyn Jenner win the decathlon for the United States of America, but was unable to express themselves because of the political winds that were blowing at the time?
God, I don't know if I want to touch this question with a 15-foot pole. I don't know. I think anything I say is going to be wrong. But,
is the greatest male athlete of all time a woman?
I don't know. I mean, I think the answer is pretty simple. Like, she has probably said it in an interview or so. Like, I'm sure you could probably look that up and somebody's asked, like, did you feel, like, when did you know or think that you were, Caitlyn? And my motherfucker might be like, shit, when I was training for the Olympics. And if that's the case, then Caitlyn won them bitches, is what it is.
Imagine how much faster my time would be if I could have cut that extra weight back then.
Jesus.
But I've been streamlined for the 100. Somehow he turns into like a 1930s vaudeville actor when I do it, though. She does. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 1972 decathlon gold medalist. Hey, do you guys know why they stripped Jim Thorpe of his decathlon gold medal? You guys familiar?
Because he played like one minor league baseball game or something like that?
It was a couple, but it was like a barnstorming league where you got paid literally nickels. But if you did the it's not exchange rate. What do you call that? Inflation? Yeah. What it was? It literally it would have been like $50 a game or $20 a game or something like that. It really wasn't making him a lot of money. Just some rent, some food, and went and won the decathlon 1912 Olympics. Then stripped him. And he went and played pro football.
I do want people to realize that we've come pretty far. I know things seem bleak when you turn on the news, but if you go back and watch the original Police Academy, you will see more racist content in 30 seconds than you will over the last, 10 years of any television.
Oh, dude, watch like a WrestleMania 1 through 4. Jesse Ventura was awful. He was atrocious. He said something about Tito Santana. He said, I bet he wishes he was selling tacos in Tijuana now when he's getting his ass kicked. I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah. Wrestling's prime for that stuff. I was going to say, we just started watching The Sopranos because neither one of us have ever watched it.
Oh, my God. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No. Well, I watched, like, back when it was on, I watched, like, here or there.
Okay.
Like, but I didn't really follow it, like, continuously. So, yeah, we started it.
All right.
Bravo,
man.
I think we're like 3 episodes in, and like Tony's mom, she's pretty racist, but it is what it is.
But these are characters, man.
Well, yeah, I got it.
And there are people that exist like that. I mean, we talk about the QAnon folk all the time. There's a certain sect of humans that continue to live in a different era or a different plane of mental existence. And they'll always be that. Even Jesse Ventura, I'll give him a little bit of a pass. He was like a professional wrestler, He was doing a persona.
Semi-fictional.
I don't know that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that the Jesse Ventura that you saw on the WWF was the same Jesse Ventura that became the governor of Minnesota.
Ooh.
I mean, he's kind of a whack job, but I don't know that he's that guy.
He said something about a guy named Bad News Brown that I won't repeat. I'll give you a link. You can look it up. And I don't know. I don't necessarily know if a persona would be able to come up with something like that. That comes down from the pits, from the gall.
Well, in wrestling, they said the best personas are the ones that are like their true selves.
Right.
So, I mean, for as good as it was, it's still pretty racist.
That's right. Yeah. Without giving up too much, I don't know what season it is. Meadows in college, so I don't know where you guys are.
No, we're like 4 episodes in.
Okay, so this is probably like the 4th season or so. Anyway, she starts becoming friendly, not dating, but friendly with a mixed race classmate, and has him over to watch a movie for a movie review class that they're taking. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Then Tony comes in.
That's the old Netflix and chill.
That's right. Yeah, they're watching Public Enemy, the original.
Nice.
A little bit of the Queen's speech comes out of Tony's mouth. Is that what happens?
He doesn't throw. I mean, I'm going to ruin it for Alan. So we'll just. I'm going to ruin it for everybody. I'm going to say that stuff.
Yeah.
Going to ruin a 20-year-old episode.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I haven't seen it.
I know. There's still. I mean, The Sopranos is really the reason that kind of we have, I think, Netflix series the way we have them. Like that whole genre, The Sopranos is what gave us movie quality level television series. Everything that followed after that, you had The Sopranos and you had The Wire, and then you lead all the way up to like Game of Thrones. And then from all that, you kind of ended up with like somewhere in the mix there, you ended up with Lost on network television, like must see, tune in. This Story Will Never End saga television. So The Sopranos, you have to thank for that. It's well worth it. Yeah, you definitely have to do a follow-up when you finally end the series and we get to the finale.
Yeah,
so we can discuss that nonsense.
I'll probably chime in from time to time. But yeah, I'm excited. I think that was that HBO's like first like smash. I don't think they really had much before that. You know, I remember like Arliss.
Oz.
Shit like that. But oh yeah, Oz was fucking good.
Oz was a little bit not.
Oz was intense.
It ran parallel with The Sopranos, like when Oz was getting its last few seasons. Sopranos was just starting, Oz didn't. Oz, I think, only had not only had about four seasons. Yeah, Arliss. Do you remember like the real epic? You know, what was miniseries? A miniseries to me, it's like a season or two.
No,
Sopranos
this
is six.
Series, like 4 seasons. 4 seasons isn't a miniseries. A miniseries is like less than 10 episodes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. One and done, like 6 to 10 episodes. That's a miniseries.
Say probably less than like 8.
Sex and the City was HBO.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But Sopranos is the one that caught wildfire. Like where people who had HBO, they tuned in for the shows that you guys talked about. People got HBO for The Sopranos.
That's fair. I could believe that because like you're right. Like it is truly. That was kind of the beginning of, because like even Sex and the City, I think those episodes are half an hour, right, or 40 minutes. They're not like The Sopranos was an hour.
Right.
It was like movie quality television, or you know what I mean. And you're just like, oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
And there's like more. There's more of this. There's like years of it. Yeah, that's good. I never really thought about that. We've watched a lot of HBO. We got HBO Max, and there is a lot of shit on there.
Yeah, there's a very underrated one that I think you'll like, in my opinion. It's called 6 Feet Under. The family owns a mortician.
I did watch that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well,
That's a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got out of that one after like season 3, and because it just started getting
Later on, got weird.
Yeah, they get some of those HBO ones. They always got like too weird to continue. Even Oz got too weird to continue. There was one point where like not Jason Priestley, who was the other one? The guy who died from 90210, who played like the priest in the show, and they end up bricking him up in the wall and the building burns down, but he's saved because he's inside the brick, and they cut him out and he's like up, like he's like nailed to the crucifix.
Yeah.
And it's all of a sudden he got spiritual.
It's the same guy in 8 seconds, but was he? Hold on, I thought the preacher in Oz was the Asian dude.
No. Not Jason. He was an inmate, not Jason Priestley. The other one, Luke Perry. Luke Perry came in.
You sure?
And he was like this.
I think it was the guy from O'Reilly, the guy who does the Allstate commercials now. I'm your dog. I'm your annoying neighbor. That guy.
I'm your dog. I'm licking my balls right now, right next to the gear shifter. Did you know that I was going to pump it into reverse?
Yeah, those commercials are amazing.
I'm your 6-month-old, and I just diarrheaed everywhere out of the diaper.
And you're not wearing slippers on a hardwood floor.
Yeah. So it was Luke Perry. Wow, I don't remember. But yeah, I got to take a trip down memory lane. Arliss was funny, too. There was this really... Funny. They tried to do kind of... I don't even remember what it was called. It was called... It was kind of like an ancient Greece, ancient Rome type setting, and it was a serious economic and mini series flop. It was terrible. I don't remember what it was called, but it was on the heels after Sopranos, and HBO had just these grand fucking plans for it. Like, oh my god, this is going to be amazing, and just I think Sopranos ended and people had I have to say HBO hangover. But it's like, it was just in Sopranos. I'm going to watch it. Which makes sense.
You know what? We've been sucking their dick here for like 10 minutes, but HBO does not know how to finish a show. Let's be clear.
True.
We touched on it, but like all of these shows we've been talking about, like I don't know what's going to happen in Sopranos, but I've heard in the past like fucking 20 years, like Mur said, that things got dicey and people were a little disappointed. I mean, and there's a long list of those to continue on. The Wire, fucking season 5 was terrible. You know what I mean?
Boardwalk Empire, that thing
Boardwalk Empire went off the fucking rails.
God, that thing
Game of
shit
Thrones,
dead.
they were just like, fuck it. Light this fucking thing on fire. This was a perfect investment.
Here's a question. Okay, so coming up on HBO Max, by the way, the Snyder cut of the Justice League is going to come out, and I'm pins and needles for this because I want to see if he was able to actually fix it, if it was actually better the way he envisioned it. And what's beautiful about it is it's going to be like 6 episodes, hour long each. So that's a 6-hour cinematic event. Game of Thrones sucked donkey balls the last season.
Yeah,
I mean, there were some elements that can be saved, but there was a lot that should have just throw it to the sewer. Why not? Why not come back and redo it? I mean, is it pride? Is it money? What is it? Because you cannot tell me that if they said, okay, guys, we fucked up, we're going to redo the last season of Game of Thrones. You're telling me that nobody would tune back in if they fucking just changed that whole thing and made it more, not palatable, but more, I don't know, gave it more of a resolution for the people who followed it.
For the diehards, though, HBO might literally have to figure out how to give fucking viewers dragon eggs. Like, they egregiously fucked that up. Like, especially because even if they could redo that season. But honestly, I think it needed more than that. It needed another season. Like, there was so much more to tell in that story, and I'm fine with that. Like, they should have just done that. But they were like, nah, we gotta get our nut. Let's do this. Let's light everything on fire.
Well, you're also assuming that these writers, directors, producers, and actors all want to play nice in the sandbox together. After so many seasons and so much money, every now and then people are just fed up, man. You gotta be hungry.
I think that's a part of it too. With the writers, the two main executive producer guys, I think didn't really hold true to George R. Martin's view. I haven't read the books, but this is what I understand and fucking shit that I've read while I was looking at shitting on the last season. And fucking yeah, that's what. So they diverged from the guy who wrote the fucking thing, and that usually is a bad way to go.
They ran out.
That's true, and he's not done.
Yeah, he's not done, and so they started to diverge about halfway through his second to last book. And so they were like, oh, we don't know where you're going, so we're just going to go our own way. And they did fine, but it was almost like, I don't know, imagine an astronaut in space, and he's holding onto a tether, and it's like, all right, I'm going to let go now. And he did fine. He did fine for the first hour. And then after that, it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And then they completely...
swimming back.
He started swimming, and then he hit the fucking atmosphere and just fucking burned on re-entry, man, and just fucking screwed the pooch.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
I have not watched a single episode from start to finish, and I feel like I've told some people that, I wouldn't say avid watchers, but people who, God, I don't even know if there was an average watcher. I think everyone who was into it watched that shit religiously. So I'll call the middle of the road that person, which is someone who watched it each and every weekend or week or whenever it premiered. They, upon telling them this news, they wanted to kick me square in the dick. It's like, wait, what? Poof!
Yo, that first episode, number one, but the first season, you're just like, yeah. So much shit's gonna happen.
Okay. Let me stop you there, because Wes, I am somewhere caught between Alan and you, because what happened to me is I avoided it forever, and then finally, after how many seasons was it, Alan? 5, 6?
No, I think the last one was 8 or 7 or 8.
Okay,
the final.
Okay, when it got to season 7, I decided to watch the first episode. And then me and my wife sat and binge watched for about a month straight until we got caught up to the last episode of the second to last season live on TV. And then we had to wait the full year and 3 months until the last season started. And we were just salivating like everybody else. Alan, the first episode sucks, except for the last.
The first
30
episode
seconds.
is story, but I think it's interesting. Like if you in the grand scheme of everything, it's a very interesting episode. Like once you've if you rewatch it after you season even 7, you'll be like, wow, first episode is fucking wild.
Well, here's the deal, Wes. This is what I'll tell you. Every episode in the first season is a no-hitter in the 9th inning with 2 outs, and there's a home run walk-off. Every fucking episode. You're like, why am I watching this? Why am I watching this? I can't wait to watch the next one. That's every fucking episode of the first season of Game of Thrones.
All right. Wow.
There's a lot of story. It isn't a lot of like killings and shit. Not a ton of it, but yeah, it's fucking good.
And correct me if
it hooks you in.
Correct me if I'm
Lots of
wrong.
titties.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I've seen a few compilations.
Oh, mad titties.
I've seen a few compilations on
Lots of vagina.
On some
vaginas everywhere.
some choice websites, some montages of Game of Thrones stuff. I'll let you figure that one out. Didn't Showtime have like a parallel one that was shittier, less production value, not as good, probably more titties, but it was just obviously a bite off. Are you guys familiar with this?
No.
Was it After Dark?
It's
Game of Bones. That was on Pornhub, Wes.
it's
It's not on Showtime.
let me see here. Talk about something else while I look this up.
Maybe Cinemax.
No, but I'm just thinking about all the careers that were spawned off of Game of Thrones too. Like, shoot, I don't even the chick who plays Daenerys. Oh God.
So I was actually going to say this is how you know a show is pretty good because, like, the first 2 seasons, like there's always mad titty first of all throughout the entire show, but like key characters show titty. It's key character titty all over the first 2 seasons, and then they get to be too key character and too famous, and the titty goes away. They cover the titty. That's when that's how you know a show has skyrocketed to meteoric success. Is when the lead actresses were like, season 1, this might not work. Let's show some titty. Hopefully we get some viewers. And then season 3, they're like, oh, we got you hooked, you motherfuckers. You ain't seeing no titty, no more titty for you.
Lot of dick too, by the way.
Yeah,
a lot of dick. I would say they spread the dick to tit ratio out pretty well, in Game of Thrones. Which look, bottom line is I'm fine with it. What I've realized over time, like seeing dick on screen, is that in porn you see a lot of dick. Obviously, I mean that's kind of part of the game. You know what I mean?
It's standard. Yeah.
That's the kind of porn I like.
and okay, this is gonna sound really weird coming out of my mouth here, but when you see the presence of dick, that means there's gonna be the presence of titty and vagina.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so, you're like, ooh, I'm seeing some dick here. That means there's a naked chick across the room. So, I'm not even concerned about all the cock and balls. The cock and balls, okay, fine. There's lots of cock and balls. That means there's going to be an equal amount. I am perfectly okay with this newfound way of finding equality of nudity in film, because where there's a naked dick, there's a naked tit, and I'm all right with it.
It was a mythical time period where clothes were just kind of strewn about you, not really on you. So I feel you. Lots of titty, lots of dick.
There was a fair amount of lead actress tit in that vampire one on HBO? Was it?
Yeah,
True Blood?
Same thing. Fucking what's her face? She was like titty. Oh nope, cut you off. No more titty.
Yeah. What the hell was her name? Damn it.
Anna Paquin.
Anna Paquin, yeah,
is the actress's name. Yeah.
She had some sort of vampire juice that squirted out of her nipples that dissolved them. It's like
yes, she had magical vampire juice, aka her blood. I believe,
like the fembots from fucking Austin Powers.
It was like liquid garlic.
It's the opposite of liquid garlic, whatever that is. Yeah, they were all about it.
So some of the Colonel's sweet tea.
Nice.
Oh boy. Oh man. Well, welcome to the middle class holes. You got your fix of something. Foxman, Murr, and Alan. Murr, you had sent me this the other day. I want to bring this up here. Burger King's campaign for International Women's Day backfired Monday as it attempted to draw attention to the male-dominated culinary world as it was criticized for sexism. These jackasses tweeted, and this is from at Burger King UK on March 8th, 2021, "Women belong in the kitchen." Well, okay. Presumably you're sitting around a table of executives, people with C as a title. Did this get properly vetted amongst the brass at Burger King? And like, yeah, great idea. Tweet it. Let's go. And
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, dude. This gives me hope that the tide is finally starting to turn with all the big pussy fest that's been in existence for the last 10 years now. Burger King made a conscious decision to throw some really non-PC thing out there to get people chatting, and then to realize that because what's the context of it?
Okay, yeah,
and this is the best part.
For like...
No, good. Their point of it is that only 20% of chefs professionally are women. We're on a mission to change the gender ratio in the restaurant industry by empowering female employees with the opportunity to pursue a culinary career. So awareness that the discrepancy males to females as professional chefs is I guess 4-1, 4-1, roughly.
Yeah. So this is really, honestly, the reason I thought this was so hilarious is that this is basically like a Bill Burr joke. Hey, ladies, I guess it's time to get back in the kitchen. Because you want equality, you better start making some fucking food. That's what it is. And when you start to boil things down and you start to make things nice and lean, you get to like time to get women back in the kitchen because they're not there. And male professional chefs are inordinately in charge of the chef world. So ladies, it's time to get yourself in the kitchen and become gourmet chefs so you can get inside those 5-star Michelin restaurants. But that's very wordy.
Right.
So you boil it down and then it sounds like it's a sexist tweet.
Yeah.
And then you get everybody talking and then you put out the news story and the press release and all of a sudden they don't look quite as asshole-ish. But you're going to get the woke crowd pissed off.
You're going to be like, come get this fucking Whopper. We even have an impossible one for you fucking weaklings. Come get one of these.
I thought
hey, whatever this article you sent, Mer, did you happen to see the a tweet from the Colonel down below?
No.
Oh, well, here, take a look. I think I have the share.
I thought you would say, "Come get some of these Whoppers."
Hey, I think you have to let me share there, Wesley.
Okay, KFC Gaming. KFC Gaming.
Oh yeah, they're like a big gamer sponsor.
The best time to delete this post was immediately after posting it. The second best time is now.
Like the fucking,
it's like the 4-bit,
8-bit kernel. Yeah.
What do you think of this quote from Carrie O'Grady, an associate professor at Georgetown University's School for Continuing Studies? She said, "If you want to use sexism as clickbait, then you obviously are not celebrating International Women's Day." Is that just kind of much ado about nothing?
No, that just
like a fucking liberal elite at a fucking liberal elite university talking bullshit. That's what I think.
I'm gonna put on my conservative hat. What are you liberals doing? But liberal around here?
Shut up, fucking person at Georgetown.
I think what's happened is everyone. Ooh. Not to bring back into the Wesley Fox, like you've been hurt conspiracy theory bullshit, but I think people are so ready to be offended or find the offense in something that is possibly not offensive. Everybody's just so willing to dive in like a fucking tiger smelling sardine oil on the shoe of a Joe Exotic that they jump to conclusions whether it's warranted or not. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, there's been a lot of times where stuff like this has been warranted. This is not one of them, and this is why I say the people in the boardroom at the Burger King advertising summit deserve a gold star, is because they knew that going into this, and so they did it anyway. Yeah. And it takes balls to do it anyway. To know that this kind of heat's going to come at you, and then to say, fuck it, Let's go with it.
Yeah.
To me, that's the kind of stones that we're going to need to move forward, where everybody can kind of see the parity in what's happening politically and fucking do it anyway.
I will say I wouldn't have known about this unless this tweet had gained international recognition and got, so much backfire and turmoil thrown at it. I wouldn't have known about International Women's Day. I wouldn't have. I mean, just from my own personal experience, having worked at a few restaurants, for the majority of the chefs at those places have been men. There's been a couple of exceptions, and the ladies that have been in the kitchen have been fine chefs. Neither here nor there. But my point is, if this didn't happen, I wouldn't have known about it. So maybe it's that old tutelage or that old saying. Any press is good press.
Yeah.
Unless it's steam press.
I just think,
they
in all honesty, I think we all need to kind of like find our lane, Like, yeah, well, there's more men auto mechanics in America than there are women. It's 90-10. What? Okay, maybe women don't like to work on cars. That's okay. There was that whole deal with that guy who wrote the article, the op-ed piece or whatever that went viral from Google, like that from my studies, like women just don't like coding computer shit. That's okay too. Like whatever you want to do it. Like I don't know. Like, do women want to be chefs? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they don't want to be chefs. But if they do, here's the disparity. And so if you'd like to be a front runner, then jump in the game, get in the race.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree. I would say I don't know many a modern lady that's like, I love cooking. I don't, you know what I mean? So yeah, I have a feeling not a lot of them are like, yeah, let's do culinary school. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah.
I saw one on Beat Bobby Flay before I came downstairs to record.
Yeah, I'm not saying they don't exist, and the opportunity is there for them to do it. I think that's what the whole point of America is like, you can do it if you want to do it. I think a lot. I'm with Murr on this one because we're getting to a point of being like, well, you should do it because women aren't doing it, and it's like, well, I don't really want to fucking do that. How about that? So, that's why there's only 20% because it sucks. Chefs are angry people.
I think I have a pretty good grasp on this too. I think that the women who are professional chefs don't give a fuck about this because their skin is thicker than fucking leather and have heard every dick and fart joke you can imagine in the kitchen.
And I mean, not to knock whoever the chef is that's formulating the smoke droplets that they put on the patties at fucking Burger King, but like, why is Burger King dying on this hill is what I don't understand. Like, it could be a fucking classy French restaurant. No, Burger King. I don't get it.
Yeah, but high-end restaurants and high-end places like that, they don't like to introduce their own like racism or their own like misogynist viewpoints on things. They're just like, all right, nobody's noticed. Let's just keep fucking going. We got the Sultan of Sudan coming in tomorrow evening. I don't give a shit who makes the fucking meal. Just get on the goddamn table before they start fucking complaining. They don't care who's making the goddamn meal. They don't give a shit. And so Burger King, I mean, it's funny to me that a fast food chain where a monkey can go back and start throwing fucking frozen patties on a fucking broiler. It's going to fucking go through at 1.5 miles per hour through the fucking broiling machine. Anybody can do that. I find it funny that Burger King's the one pointing this out and no one else. And yet everyone's mad at Burger King for this.
Right. Yeah. A fast food chain is the whistleblower of the male to female ratio in the kitchen.
Yeah. The culinary industry.
Kudos.
Good job, Burger
King. We aren't doctors, but we'd love to take a look at some more of the middle class holes.
Ooh, somebody's up for a vaccination. Actually, someone got a vaccination, and someone's up for a vaccination.
Yeah,
baby. I got mine on Monday. Alan, you're getting yours tomorrow.
Yep, give me that 5G chip.
Okay, do you know what you're getting?
I don't. So it's like it's a total crapshoot. I'm getting it an M&T. right across the street. But apparently, my wife went on a little bike ride today, and we usually bike around the stadiums. And she said that they started putting up a little sign with what today's brand is, the soup du jour, if you will. So this, like, she rode by, and it was like Pfizer. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll find out what when I get there. But I hear word on the street is that there isn't any more Johnson & Johnson in the city at the moment. We're supposed to get some more like later this week or early next week or something.
Yeah, they dose that.
Probably going to be a 2-parter.
They dose that shit out quick in Maryland because like they're based around here. And now my wife got the Johnson & Johnson, was sick as a motherfucker for like 18 hours, not a full 24, about 18 hours, sick as shit. And like she went up to 103. It was like boop 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 103, and then boop 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 down. And then I got Moderna on Monday, and it's so I don't know how the fuck they're doing this. I would like to think we could be a little more streamlined with the way we're pulling this off. I'm on wait lists all over the place because I'm a worker that does a job that's in people's faces all the time. So anyway, I was on a wait list. They called me as I was clocking out on Monday, like, hey, can you be here in an hour and a half? Like, yep, heading out now. And I went down, got the Moderna one in the left shoulder. The shot was fucking nothing. I was actually concerned it wasn't working for the first 5 hours. And then the next day, it felt like me and Mike Tyson played punch buggy clear across the fucking U.S. Like, I could barely raise my arm. But that was it. That was the only thing. I felt like I took a Benadryl, and I got punched in the shoulder repeatedly by a professional heavyweight fighter.
So
that was it.
I'm going to ask a very, very stupid question, but it just came to mind. I'm assuming when you get, if you're getting one of the two-shotters, you know, it's Moderna and Pfizer. Is there another one? Or is it just Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson?
Moderna, Pfizer are 2 shots. Johnson & Johnson's 1.
Okay. So if you get Moderna, you can't get Pfizer round 2, right? Yeah.
You're not supposed to.
Okay.
I don't think so. They're different, which is fucked up because, okay, why don't they all just share? Like, seriously, like, why once one figured it out, like, why didn't they just share and say, hey, mine's better? And like, all right, you can do the same shit I do, right? Yeah. Why not just do that? That's what I don't get. Why don't we get some uniformity here?
I'm going to guess. What's that, Alan?
Capitalism.
Right. Yeah. Money, I think, is the short answer. I could be wrong, though. Could be wrong.
No, you're right. You're both right.
No, so, and like, I've read some things. Like, I think they certainly could mix and match, but they're at this point, they don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you know what I mean? Not that this... I think they've already have enough time of a hard time getting people to trust this thing as it is. You know what I mean? If they're like, yeah, we'll just fucking mix and match them. Yeah, that'll fucking work. People will be like, what? No, that sounds wrong. Like, I would think that even me who trusts science would be like, can I get the same brand of the second one though? Like, I get it. Yeah. It's fine if all I can get is the other one, but I would prefer it.
I'm not rocking a Nike and then an Adidas sock on the other foot.
Yeah.
Give me one or the other, motherfucker. Yeah.
Fucking.
By the way, I just want to throw this out there as the conservative in the room. Like, I don't want to hate capitalism because we got this motherfucker within a year. Within a year because of capitalism. These greedy sons of bitches said, hold on, 8 billion people. That's 8 billion doses. That's 8 billion. $1 a dose. You just made $8 billion. And you know, sure as shit, it ain't $1 a dose. So they just made hand over fist for God knows how long. Can we make it 2 doses? You're damn right. I don't hate capitalism. Because of capitalism, we got it as fast as we did. But you're right. Because of capitalism, there ain't going to be no Adidas sock and Reebok shoe.
Give me like an ankle or like a no-show and a crew length. You know what I mean? Fuck that. What? Nope. Maybe if I don't have to, if they say like, "Hey, wear this for a couple days," and you're vaccinated from coronavirus, then I'll consider it. But otherwise, give me one or the other.
Yeah, I'd like to keep both shoes the same brand.
Yeah, and if I have a preference, I don't want the crew length looking like a young ass millennial putzing around in crew length socks and fucking docksiders with fucking tight ass shorts.
Yeah, so Federal Hill. God damn it.
I haven't seen Federal Hill light up in a while. All right, so let me ask you this. Go ahead, Mur.
No. Go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna pose a little like my own 3 and out. So we had talked, I don't know how long ago, within a couple of months, that China was doing anal swabbing for testing. Yeah, remember this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Let's say the same type of reverse science and technology is used for vaccination, and it's a 1 dose, and it's about 99.9% effective. It's got to be taken anally. Do you do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I honestly, I hate needles so much that I would take it right in the ass, baby. Isolate that.
Positive?
No,
Yeah,
dude, I don't know what it is, man. Like me and needles, just we don't get along. And I'm not I like to fancy myself not a pussy, but man, when it comes to needles, I am a pussy. I'm gonna let them do it. The best thing that can happen if you've had a long day at work and you're maybe down at the old Walgreens, I think the best thing you want is this jack fuck to come in the door, because I gave them a 15-minute comedy show before that needle went in my arm. I can't explain it. It's all off the cuff. It's like crowd work as a stand-up comedian. But man, I mean, at one point she was like, "Okay, are you ready?" I said, "Hold on. So let me get this straight. You can't give it to me until I say it's okay, right?" Technically, no. So I have to consent to you putting that in my arm. Yes, I do, Mr. Murr. I was like, all right. And then I unbuttoned my jacket. And I sat there and we just went back and forth for about 10 minutes. And it was basically all about me letting the alcohol in my arm dry and getting ready, knowing it's coming. And by the way, needles have come a long way since the last time I got a shot. It ain't shit. So if you're worried about a needle, I didn't even feel it. I felt her pinching the muscle on my arm more than I felt the needle going in. And it wasn't bad. Round 2, I hear, might be a shit show. But until then, hey, man, if this is what it takes to get back to fucking normal, I'm down. So I had to take 2 days off of drinking, by the way. So I've been making up for it. And I'm off tomorrow. Hey, so if I'm a little loopy, that's where we are.
You say you don't like needles. Don't you have one of those Bill Goldberg barbed wires around your arm?
Yeah, I do, by the way. Thank you for that. Appreciate you reminding the entire world that, God damn it, I am mad about this. But no, I passed out on all my tattoos. They gave me smelling salts. By the way, once you pass out, you come to, you don't pass out again. So I just come back to, and I let them finish traumatizing my body.
Were you drunk at senior week or something? Give me the Bill Goldberg barbed wire all the way around, brother. I don't know why I wish you sounded like Hulk Hogan when you were 18, but
I wish I was drunk at senior week. But I actually no. To my own credit, I drew what's on my arm myself. Now I don't know. It's probably been a while since you've seen the Naked Murr. No, because
it's been forever since I've seen the Naked Murr.
Yeah, because see, I have a lighthouse.
Gotcha. Yeah.
To the whole shoulder. But yeah, that one I drew myself. See, that's the M for Murr and 13 for the lucky number 13 that a 18-year-old would obviously draw in his bedroom by himself when he's lonely at night, contemplating whether there's a higher existence than the one he's living. And then this all has my initials in it. There's an A. See the A?
Yeah.
And then my middle initial is T. So there's your T. Yeah, see? So fuck you, Wes. Let's see your ink, asshole.
Yeah, 0. No ink on me.
That's almost the new tattoo, isn't it? The no ink?
I think so. I think I held out for that. Alan's inkless. But Alan's had a beard since he was 11. He didn't need ink, He had a full-on fucking...
It's true.
Christopher Lowell fucking esque beard when he was in gym class doing push-ups.
Yeah, he's right. It's fair.
Speaking of needles, did you guys hear about the BYU pole vaulter having to get 18 stitches to his rectum? Did you hear about this?
Rectum? Damn near killed him.
That's right.
His rectum? I thought it was his balls, but either way.
Scrotum. Yeah, you're right. Actually, sorry. I'm
Look. Bottom line is this: the taint region. You can apply all jokes.
BYU, that's Brigham Young University, the Mormon university out in Utah. Pole vaulter Zach McWhorter, MC whatever. I'm not going to spell it. Was practicing.
Like
they call it. They call it a stunt. It's not a stunt. He's an athlete. And Murray used to be a former pole vaulter at the Perryville High School. I'm sure you can imagine. There's no video on this. I bet I could find it. But 21 years old, springs it up, shoots over the bar, doesn't push the pole away. Pole falls inwards towards the mat as he's coming down, catches him in the scrotum. 18 stitches later, the young man is a whole new man. And he says, there's nothing wrong with my testicles, just a scar. One day we'll find out if they'll function or not. I missed that quote. Bravo. Oh, man. God, we talk about dick a lot. But Ben obviously covet their private regions. And this definitely ranks up there as some of like the most gruesome shit that I've heard of in terms of just puncture or blunt force trauma, things of that nature. Your thoughts, if you have any, other than wow.
Alan, I have plenty as a former pole vaulter.
I always kind of wondered, because I threw like shot put and discus, and I would just always kind of mosey around and watch like different events, and I always kind of wondered about the poles because they seemed like they would get precariously close to this very situation, like all the time, but it never happened. And so now seeing it happen, I wonder like what's the frequency that it happens, and are there worse? This sounds like this could get worse than what it came out with for him. Like he made out all right. It sounds like.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, luckily he made out all right. Now, I will say for me, I wasn't a good enough pole vaulter to really have this particular situation arise. Because these guys are getting like, what, 15? Between 15 and 20
I watched
feet.
the thing, a video of his after I went down the rabbit hole, and I think his PR is like 17.7 or something crazy.
That seems reasonable from Division One
college,
NCAA. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, the Perryville High School pole vault poles themselves were not structured in a way that would allow you to get higher than 12 feet.
Yeah.
And the highest I ever made it over a pole in practice was 10 feet 2 inches. That's my highest ever. That is not, and I don't take, I take zero credit for that. The highest I ever made it over in a meet was 9 feet. And that's like when you're going over the bar, that's like the poles like staring me like right in the eyeballs, okay? Not my balls, my eyeballs. And the worst that ever happened to me was I fell into the pit, which is where you jam the fucking pole into the ground. But the Perryville High School pole vault poles were what you would call static poles. They didn't bend.
Yeah.
You fucking jam those fuckers in the ground. You run as fast as you can, and you pray
guys, take a look.
that your body is able to hold on long enough to get you into the air. There was no finesse. It was all just fucking like muscle and fucking body speed.
Yeah, I remember
End of story.
I remember Murrah because my brother, who's a good bit on the show, good friend of Murrah's, was running track, and I was around a good bit. And I later ran track, but I remember him saying, "Yeah, there's first of all, there was no one there to instruct pole vault. You had a field, like someone who taught or instructed long jump, triple jump, high jump, and then just so happened pole vault. And literally it was like, all right, run as fast as you can, drive that fucker into the divot in the ground and pop yourself up. There was no technique. There was no instruction. And we got this pretty solid plexiglass thing that won't bend very much. So you're going to have to get really fast.
It's funny because all of the field events in track and field are like, all except for shot put, all finesse. There's technique, and even there's technique to shot put, but shot put you can kind of get by with brute strength. But fucking, there's definitely a lot of nuance to jamming a pole in the ground and going high in the air on it.
Yeah, I have it. Do you guys want to see?
Yes. Oh, you have him puncturing his nutsack?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, of course I want to see it.
Yeah, I think the one kid in my high school is really good. And I think he went like 14 feet.
All right, here we go.
Oh, this fucking bastard.
Take a look here.
Is this the one?
21-year-old
They didn't have to do the double reverse fucking slow-mo.
Quick tapper.
It's almost like you can see his dick like flick up in the air.
It sounds like the pole vault's giving him a little fun time.
If that's what you call it.
Woo.
All
Yeah,
right.
man.
Shifting.
Yeah, no.
Go ahead.
I just remember it was raining outside, so we had one of those indoor practices, and you got all sweaty, and this is again 1996. So it was like you take your shirt off, you're running around all sweaty, and I remember old Doc, the track coach, being like, "Murr, come here. You look strong. You're pretty fast. Why don't you go try pole vaulting tomorrow?" All right. That was my pole. That was my pole vault training.
No.
It's basically you look strong, you are fast, and you seem pretty stupid. So go enjoy yourself and practice tomorrow.
Same guy. My freshman year, we're outside, and do you remember how they used to make pole vaulters warm up? Where you would get two hands on it about like 6 or 7 feet up, and basically drive it into the ground, the grass, and kind of vault yourself. I don't know, a handful of feet onto the grass. And I looked at it and I kind of tinkered around with it. I was like, I don't know. And Doc says, yeah, this might not be for you. Pole vaulters have a screw loose. I think you need to do something else, Fox. I was like, all right. That was it. Very short, very sweet. And I appreciated that.
Yep. If you didn't continue to try it, you're like, oh, this is fun. Like if you weren't curious about how high you could potentially hurt yourself from, then yeah, you didn't get the pole vault anymore. And the only reason he had me do it, by the way, and to his credit, as a fucking idiot, local, fucking podunk, nowhere, Cecil County School District fucking track coach, it was all about points. His theory was there isn't anybody else that can do it, so if you can just clear the bar, we're going to get 3 points.
Yeah.
He literally said that to me one day. He's like, Murr, come here. Listen. If you can get over that fucking bar, we get 3 points. I was like, and then just being 17 and stupid, like, I got it, man. I do it. I do it. I don't care how. I'll throw myself over that fucking bar. Yeah.
It's like at the end of the year.
That's the reason for doing it ever.
This is like a totally hypothetical, but at the end of the year, when they tally up everybody's points and you're like 4th on the team, someone's like, but fucking Murr got all those from pole vaulting. He just does it because he's a psycho. But like, a psycho counts for being something, man.
There's nobody else in the county that does it. It's just him.
I remember we had a team from PA come down, and they had javelin. They did javelin like
it was like Octorara or something.
Maybe it was Kennerdale or somewhere like that. But like they still had javelin, but we didn't have it because somebody threw a javelin while someone was out there measuring for the discus, and they caught a javelin through the fucking back.
Yeah, so they can't have javelin.
They banned it in our county, and so like yeah, they automatically got like 8, 9 points. So first, second, third, because they were the only ones throwing. And I remember trying to tell them like, dude, just let me go throw one. I'll just throw it. It doesn't matter. Like I might throw further. Like, no, you ain't killing anybody today, Murr.
Nope. It's like I would have loved a hammer throw. That would have been fun. Yeah. That's also extremely fucking dangerous.
Yeah. Actually, when you had said Murr was the only one doing it, I distinctly remember there was a guy from Rising Sun named Rusty McIntyre.
He's on the board, man. He's on the board. There's a board in Rising Sun right outside the car wash, which I was at today, by the way. It has his fucking name on it. And every time I see it, I'm like, that motherfucker. He was good.
He's on the Hall of Fame at the car wash?
Is the board named after him? I don't really understand where you went with that either.
Yeah, it's like
the town of Rising Sun has like this board of like high school state champion high school athletes.
Oh.
And he's on there for like I don't know for
that's
track.
Not the picture I had. I thought it was like a community board and like it's like fucking Johnny from down the street like gives you guitar lessons, and then there's just Rusty, and Rusty's there doing Rusty things. Like he's teaching pole vault lessons.
I I thought he was like
it's a permanent board.
I thought he was on like the platinum car wash membership.
Either that or it was like a memorial to him. I didn't know he was alive. So I was like, this is a Rusty McIntyre memorial board at the car wash? That seems weird, but all right.
No, and it's funny how like these like emotions never leave you, because I was parked there waiting for someone to like, because they have the automatic car wash. So I was sitting there waiting for the line to die down, and I'm in front of like the state champion. It's a permanent board, dude. Like they spent a lot of money on this thing, thousands of dollars, and I'm just sitting there, and it's like, oh, there's your old Rusty McIntyre, that motherfucker. But yeah, no, he's on it. He was good. I mean, he jumped. He was able to do legit heights on the pole vault. I made it to states for pole vault because I got over that like 9 foot something mark at one particular meet. So I qualified, and I remember getting off the bus as we pulled up to this college to go to states, and like I was like, Doc, where's my pole vault pole? He's like, I didn't bring it. Like, what do you mean bring it? I qualified for states. He's like, Mer, you're not doing it. Like, what do you? I'm here. What do you mean I'm not doing it? He's like, all right, I'll tell you what. I'll find you a pole if you go watch the guys who qualified for states and you see what their initial height is. And I go over there. They're qualifying at like 14 feet, which is like 5 feet higher than I was able to get over in a meet. And I was like, all right, yeah, you're right. I ain't doing
it. That's when they call your name. You just like wave at the top of the I guess the runway. All right,
I'm good. Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
This Doc fella seemed like he was full of wisdom.
He was.
Doc Davis,
he was one of my favorite fucking teachers of all time.
Doc coached me in basketball for a hot minute too. He went on to become a principal at another school. God, why would you leave teaching earth science, track and field, and JV basketball to go be a principal and pay you probably 4 times more than you were making? What shit is that, Doc? Where you at, man? All right, shifting focus to something that's been it's been prominent in our lives. It's been prominent in pop culture, news, and it's been flooding the podcast here for the last month and a half. The Capitol Hill shaman, I don't even know what his name is, Weenie McWeinstein. Basically, so he has a new theory as to why he stormed the Capitol, and he said he was trying. What was it here? Hold on, I had it. God damn it, Jacob Chansley, known as the known in pro-Trump circles as the QAnon shaman, frequent president's gatherings in support of President Trump. Chansley was arrested, obviously, later refusing to eat meals, as we talked about, strictly organic food diet. But what did he go on to say? He said, damn it.
I can paraphrase if you want.
He was trying to stop people from stealing muffins from the Capitol?
Yeah, that was his goal.
Basically.
No, he said that he was trying to make sure that like the violence was contained once they got inside the actual Capitol. And his claim is that some of the officers just kind of like waved them in. And at the end of the day, I kind of believe him. This guy's an enigma. And Alan and I talked about this the last time, is that we don't agree with him, but we understand. And the way he presents himself is, he's office rocker. He's got a screw loose. Mm-hmm. He's very impressionable. He's a part of the QAnon movement. He believes things that may or may not be true. I lean towards less true than true. But to somebody like this, they're absolute truths. And his claim was that he wanted to make sure that when he got inside that building, that people were there to do what they were there to do, which is protest, but they were also respectful. And I believe him. Like his whole demeanor, I believe it. And he might go to jail for 14 years. And I think he needs help. I don't think he needs 14 years in prison.
Well, I just wanted to point out before Alan chimes in on this, I'm looking at just a still frame from his video explaining himself, and I guess it's 60 minutes. Did they give him an interview, or did they show it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he did have a 60 minutes interview, but go ahead.
When you shed the head garb and like this Three Musketeers thing, and all the face paint, he looks a lot like Roland Shit from Schitt's Creek, aka Chris Elliott.
Yeah.
He goes down about 55 pegs in the Civil War pickup basketball that you had referred to when we previously talked about him when you shed all that stuff. But don't judge a book by its cover. He's probably still a badass. I enjoy talking about him. Don't agree with all of his bullshit, but I digress. Alan?
Yeah, I mean, he's a mess. He did 60 minutes. He did 60 minutes, like you said. And I think the thing that got me was I was reading this article earlier. I think it was NPR, but I don't know. Anyway, I don't know where it came from. But him and his lawyer asked for him to be released before his trial because, well, the lawyer whipped up a concoction of, I can't meet confidentially with my client because the circumstances just aren't right. We can't get our case together. And the judge was like, you just met in public on 60 Minutes with your client. You probably could have used that time to meet confidentially and talk about this case, you asshole. He was like, but I think you're trying to further your career, and, I get it. But no, he can't get out of jail. So he's trying every which way he can. He knows he's kind of fucked on this one. And his mama bear was on 60 Minutes as well. And, yeah, she's pretty loopy, for lack of a better term. And she also seems like she's getting paid to say what she's saying. By who? I don't know. But yeah, that's the thing I got from the clip. Maybe by George Soros.
Well, if this
and the Jewish Space Laser Society.
If this is the case, and you're talking about him, okay, so if what Murr says is true, he needs help, and Alan, you're saying that his lawyer it doesn't have his best interest in mind, then is he being fucked over by the system? Is he not getting the help that he so desperately needs, or do you think this is just the way it is?
It's possible. I think he definitely does need some mental health, but he's like, wouldn't go so far as to say like he is like he's insane or necessarily
incapable of making rational decisions.
Yeah, because he's very lucid. He's not dumb. Like he doesn't come off stupid. He's just believes some crazy things. So I think like Murr said, he needs some help rooting himself back into reality. But he's not a moron. I don't think. Like he's far from it. Which I think kind of plays maybe against him because he's still playing a little bit of the shaman, like, I was waved in, it was no big deal. Oh, my spear tip is definitely not a weapon. There's spear tips like it on flagpoles in the Capitol. It's like you're working against yourself. Like, so there's this weird fucking fine line with him, but he fucked himself anyway.
I do think that whole spear tip thing is a trumped up charge. Like, it's a flagpole. Like, what he was carrying was a flagpole. And you can say, well, it was sharp. Okay, you're right. It was sharp. It could be used as a weapon. Well, anything can be used as a weapon.
But like, see, here's my point: is he keeps shooting himself in the face, in the foot because, well, in the face probably too, but eventually. But fucking, he keeps shooting himself in the foot here because he called it a spear. He called it what it is. Like he used the word spear.
Well, it is. It is a spear. He just attached a flag to it, and that can go. God damn it! I hate trying to get inside the mind of these people because, like, I understand their point when I do. He was going in. Think about the imagery and of a spear with a flag on it. Like, like that makes sense considering where this guy's coming from. I'm taking a weapon of war with a weapon of peace into this place where we decide diplomatically what happens in the world. Like, that makes sense from a QAnon shaman perspective.
Like, if you believe that, yes, I guess, yeah, it makes sense.
And so, but when you go into a court of law, it's almost coming back to the my cousin Vinny argument. Like, I shot the clerk. I shot the clerk. I shot the clerk. Like, that's not a confession. You know, when Ralph Macchio says it in the movie, he's like, I shot the clerk. I shot the clerk. I shot the clerk. There's the 3 questions, but when you read them back, it's different.
Yeah.
And so when you explain it out loud, it's different. And I don't know. This guy oh, man, it's weird because the headspace he's in, he needs reprogrammed, but he knows that what they're doing to him is reprogramming. Like, he's on that line. He's probably got an IQ of about like 125, where like he could have made so much more of his life.
Yeah.
But he's at this point, but you're not going to convince him otherwise. But I don't think he's a threat to America. I think he loves America. I just think he needs to find a different lane. He doesn't need to spend 14 years in jail for what he did.
So a year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the time is. Just some time in jail. It doesn't need to be like an exorbitant amount. He didn't kill anybody or anything, but
I don't know. And
look, here's the problem, though. This is what happened. Look, fucking Cletus and fucking Jim Bob walked on in there with their fucking Red Wing boots and their Carhartt jackets, and they're gonna get in trouble too. But they didn't paint their bodies red, white, and blue and fucking walk in with a buffalo head on. Like, he brought this on himself. Like, he's not an idiot, but he made himself a bigger target than he needed to be.
Exact words you just said, but Cletus and Jim Bob deserve 14 years in jail.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, because those guys knew exactly what they were doing, and they did it for the exact reason they walked in there. To be assholes, to steal Nancy Pelosi's mail, to be a dick face. This guy, I think, went in there as a legitimate protest.
Like, he thought it was, yeah, I get what you're saying.
The right thing to do. And so, like, I can differentiate between those 2 types of different people. Like, Cletus and Jim Bob, they probably have half the IQ of the fucking QAnon shaman. But they are fully aware of what they're doing. Whereas the QAnon shaman got led down the wrong internet link. He clicked the wrong thing at 15 years old. Yeah. And now he's fucking.
Like, it could have been gambling. It could have been cocaine. It could have been hookers. It just happened to be the QAnon conspiracy. Like, this was what it was.
Wes, what do you think? You've seen all this,
yeah,
and you tend to let me and Alan fucking like run our jaws on this thing. What's your take on QAnon shaman?
When it just what's the letter of the law? You know what I mean? If
he broke into a federal building,
that's fine. Okay, and I'm not saying do I think he deserves 14 years? I don't know. I have a hunch that they're definitely using this person as we're setting an example because they can, because he seemed to be some sort of iconic figure to this whole travesty of that day, and it's like we're gonna nail him to the fucking board and throw the book at him. Is that necessary? I don't think so, but I certainly think some jail time. And no, I don't use the crutch of I went down the wrong rabbit hole at some formative years of my life, and I believe this stuff. I got led here to believe that because of that. Sorry, man. Too fucking bad. You got to learn from your fucking mistakes. 14 years? No. I would say a year and a half, 18 months, maybe 2 years with like a reduced sentence with some good time. And I'm assuming, and I'm saying this assuming that others are getting around the same time who are convicted of the same crime, aka breaking in that day.
I guess where I come in on this is like, are jails, or are they rehabilitation centers? And I'd like to think that if people aren't threats, that we would figure out a way to rehabilitate them.
How can you say this guy isn't a fucking threat? He broke into the fucking Capitol.
But he followed the crowd. And I'm not
too bad, man.
No. I'm not saying that your point's not warranted, but I guess I'm trying to get at a broader point of like with the jail system as a whole. Mm-hmm. Like all the guys that are in jail for like selling weed when they were 15. Like the letter of the law, they broke it. Well, but
yeah, okay. I think it's a bit of apples to pears, but go on, yeah.
But so this guy, like, you know, there's a widespread quote unquote protest going on. I mean, if we want to start spreading it to protests, and I don't want to make this deeper than it has to be, but like we saw what happened this summer. Like, I mean, do we want to throw the book at those people? I mean, we can all agree, I think, that like at least from where they're coming from philosophically, that they were right, that there's a point to be made, and that we shouldn't throw the book at him for it.
Yeah, but
so for this guy,
you're talking about the Black Lives Matter protests. There were 14,000 arrests made countrywide. Now I can't tell you all the sentences that were laid down. I'm going to assume that out of 14,000, some people did some time. Maybe not hard time, but some time. And I don't know what you consider hard time. Weekends.
But I'm willing to bet that they serve time for vandalism and things that were not related to, some philosophical measure. Like if we're going to say a building's a building, then in essence, breaking and entering to this building, I know this building is a much higher stature than the restaurants and such that were on the streets of like Minneapolis and Oregon and everything like that. But I mean, if we're going to talk about like, if that's the sentence you want to give him, but I feel like they're really going to try to nail this guy to the cross. And I don't know if that's fair considering his mental state. I just think that dude, this comes back to the media whipping shit up. People believe things now because of the way things are broadcast. And I just feel like this guy might be a victim of his own circumstance and in his own way.
Yeah, but then you get into a slippery slope. If you give this guy a get out of jail free card, literally, because he was persuaded in a way that that could happen to anybody, then what? Then we use that as a crutch to do a lot of other shit. I don't know. I'm not saying he needs to do hard time. And again, but some people who do weekends for 3 months say that was hard time. Okay, I think we could definitively draw a line in the sand. 4 months, 6 months, 8 months. That's probably fair to say hard time. But he needs to do a little hard time.
He needs to do a little hard time. But I think in the meantime, while he's doing his time, he needs to have somebody spend some time on his mind and figure out why he thinks the way he thinks. And I don't know what the answer is. It's anomalies like this, I don't know, that beg a lot of questions about how we do things, like how we lock people up, how we administer mental health evaluations, how we consider people true threats, how we consider people to be patriots, how we consider people to be all of these things.
You're going to get down to a long slippery slope in like reform, in institutionalized reform, which Christ, we could probably do an entire podcast on. And I agree with you. I'm going
to take that sound clip of Murray. He fucking sounds like fucking libtard saying all those hot buttons that he should be staunchly against. So yeah, that was crazy. Those were all things that came out of Andrew Murr's mouth today. I just want to leave it there.
Well, no, and I can appreciate that. I'll take it for what it's worth. I mean, I get it. The problem is that we do. Oh shit! Sorry, I knocked a lot of things with that little hand flip there. No, I get it. It's just that we all get entrenched in these camps, or we're supposed to be entrenched in these camps. And we shouldn't be. And the problem is there's too many people to be individualized on all these issues. And this guy's an individual, and I can look at him and I can say, well, this guy needs this, this, and this. Now, I guarantee you, like Wes talked about with all the other fucking Jim Bobs and Cletuses that had their feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk, that, we don't have time to fucking spend like, oh, Mr. McDaniels, why'd you go in Nancy Pelosi's office and open her mail? Like, we don't have time for that fucking guy. You throw the book at a guy like that. But with QAnon Shaman, it's like, we got a lot of material on this guy. He did 45 interviews before he walked in the front of the building. He fucking did a battle cry that is consistent with what you hear in the movie Braveheart. And he also delivered a speech which was probably paraphrased from the end of the movie that starred Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson, known as, I can't fucking remember.
A Few Good Men. And
that's it.
And
I don't want the truth.
And to be fair, he was stopping muffin theft in the Capitol. I mean, if you want some good Samaritan points.
Let me tell you. Okay, you know what though? If I was this lawyer and a good lawyer, I'd be like, this guy stopped people from stealing muffins in the break room. Like, to me, think about the conscience of this kind of guy. Like, all right, guys, we're here to do one thing, and it's not steal muffins.
But
okay?
See, like, the problem is, and I just keep going back, he shoots himself in the fucking foot. Like, 2 days after, he was like, I will do it again. I will go to Arizona's capital and do the same fucking shit. Like, you can't. There is a certain level of like, yeah, all right, he's fucking crazy. We can kind of be lenient on him. And then there's like the level of, I don't know, man. He seems like he was pretty hell bent on doing this. Yeah, he might be crazy. That doesn't make it not illegal.
But if he was drafted and you sent him to Nazi Germany and you were like, the fucking ideology of freedom is on the line, tell me he's not your number one draft pick.
Yeah, you're using a very niche what if. It's something
no, I know, but draw away from that though.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's got an ideology and he believes in it. And if you think of America as the shining city on the hill, like, you want those people at the fucking gates. And he thinks democracy's being stolen. He needs some re-education, and not in the weird encampment kind of way that most people are used to.
I like the personality trait of his drive, but if he is so easily taken down the wrong path to use that drive, then I don't know that I want him on the front lines.
Yeah,
you know
I think
like that's like the guy who gets caught by the Krauts and becomes one of them, and he's like, yeah, fuck it, kill some fucking gypsies. Like that's that guy. You know what I mean? It's the guy who fucking watches this dude get killed in Band of Brothers. You know what I'm talking about? That or whatever that.
Saving Private Ryan.
That's not this guy. That's not this guy. That's not Upham. Fuck you for bringing up Upham. Now I'm gonna be mad.
Biggest movie assholes. Biggest movie assholes. Great episode. Look back at it, folks. Middle Class Holes. I like now that two things. One, if this guy in the front lines of a war. Now that I get a look at him without his makeup and his fucking musketeer hat, no, because again he looks like Chris Elliott. It looks like he looks like fucking the Paperboy from Get a Life. Two, if you're talking about that energy, it'd probably be better rerouted in pro wrestling and not war. Something where he's like, we've talked about pro wrestling a fair amount on today's podcast, which is fine. It's okay. I mean, we can do that. We're all fans, but I think like him in character, with a storyline, he'd believe it.
Where he can kind of still be detached from reality.
Yeah,
sure. But this is the thing. This is the guy that. This is the Undertaker that believes he's the Undertaker. Like, that's. This
not
is Papa Shama.
This
is Papa Shaman that believes he's Papa Shaman. Like, that's who this guy is. This is Umaga believing he's from the fucking jungles of fucking the Congo. Like,
right.
That's who this guy is.
Oh man. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up there. Fun Fact Friday coming at you next.
Now listen up, fellas. Do you know the statistics on unprotected sex? Men are 3 to 5 times more likely to bust early. Don't be a pump and dump. Wrap it up. Now, back to more of the Middle Class Holes.
Welcome back to the Middle Class Holes. Murr, Alan, Foxman. I owe Alan an apology, but I'll owe Murr an apology because Alan, and not because I did or say anything publicly that was disrespectful or anything of that nature. Just because we're friends. Alan sends me a video, or sends us a video, of this Elon Musk SpaceX rocket landing. It did explode later on, but it's the landing of it. And I immediately said it's fake. Alan responds, on what grounds? Which is a fucking fantastic response, because that's one of my go-to lines when people make very, very odd claims. And I'll be honest with you, I was a little bit drunk last night. I was looking at it from my phone while Sarah was like trying to get my attention with other memes and things like that. And the dust that was coming up looked very Twister-esque with Bill Pullman and Helen Hunt. So I assumed that this was something that may have been a little bit fake. It wasn't, and to my credit, I don't know if you guys remember my response.
Here's his credit. Let's let him give him his credit first. Like, go ahead, Alan.
I said the other video that you sent was real. Therefore, there would be no need for a fake video. So my logic is wrong. Therefore, it is real, and I apologize. I'm sorry. The SpaceX thing did land. It was pretty badass. It looked way too crazy for me to believe at first. Just the aerodynamics of it. I mean, that wow, phenomenal. I'm blown away.
Well, first of all, you owe me an apology because I sent it like a week before Alan sent it.
You send a lot of shit. I don't know. I only read about a quarter of your stuff. So
I sometimes don't get to all of them. Yes.
Just kidding. Kidding.
Fair enough. No, it's fair. Alan, I'm gonna let you take the wheel on this one for now because I took the wheel last time.
I mean, so it's just the overall hatred of space and all things space related that I just truly don't understand. And I apologize for not seeing it before because that shit blew my mind. Like, I showed it to Kelly and I was like, the fucking future. That shit just happened. Yeah. And then it blew up. So they'll figure that out. And then we were hypothesizing today, like we're rocket scientists or something. They were like, "Oh, you know what? It probably stayed heated too long. You got to cool it. You got to figure out how to cool it." I don't know that that's true. I just thought about it today. But anyway, back to shitting on Wes. Wes, why do you hate space? What's the problem? Like, why? I bet you if this was anything, if this was a car or a fucking just a regular ass plane doing something crazy, you'd have been like, oh, yeah, that's interesting. But because it was space related, it was a rocket, you were like, nope, fucking fake. That's fake.
First of all, you guys confuse my lack of belief in aliens and your alien propaganda and your rhetoric, your fucking Bobcat Goldthwait rhetoric that somehow translates to not like in space. That's not true. All I'm saying is when I saw that video through the eyes of a blood alcohol level of like a 0.11 or 0.12, the dust that was being created looked like Helen Hunt and Bill Pullman had tied themselves to a water pipe and a twister came through and sucked it up. It just looked a little fishy. Even some of the close-up stuff looked crazy. Now, I'll be honest with you, perhaps the videography game through Elon Musk technology and how he wanted to document this event may be far superior than to my eye. And I'm not even calling myself a professional videographer. I'm a hack who happened to work as a videographer in a few different jobs. I can do it. I video edit. But even some of that stuff looked beyond my eye. Rockets aside. Now, so now you tell me I'm like segueing off of the space question.
I just think at the root, like, you weren't even nitpicking the brilliance of the rocket turning and drive. You weren't like, oh my God, that's fucking great. You were like, the dirt looks weird. It looks like Helen Hunt and Bill Pullman. Like, that was your fucking nerd hater fucking reaction, was not the amazing feat of fucking astrological technology that you just saw, but the fucking dust.
And wouldn't it look kind of strange based on anything else you've ever seen? Because this has never been done before.
Yeah. That was the strange part to me, was the rocket landing that way.
Well, that's and I'll point out like the conspiracy that I'm big on is 9/11. People get weirded out by the twin towers collapsing because they've never seen a skyscraper collapse before. And yeah, I was certainly weirded out by what I saw. I'm not questioning the validity of it. I am now knee deep into it. I am now not understanding the technology, but marveling at it. And I'll get back to you with a book report.
I was actually pleasantly surprised by your denial of this because
when the fuck did I deny it? I said one video looked weird. That's it.
But that initial reaction gave me goosebumps because I realized that it's kind of like what's the line from Batman? You live long enough to be the enemy. Like what is it? It's the Two-Face line.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Come on, Alan, help me out here.
Fuck, I'll look it up. Hold on.
The point is,
I'm gonna get you, suckers. Is that the line?
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
The point is like, okay, it's almost like in that one text, you became the 9/11 conspiracy theorist.
What?
Don't roll your eyes. Just try to understand it. No, don't take it as hate.
Yeah.
Just try to understand it. You
Yeah.
saw something that you didn't understand. Go ahead, Alan.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yes. You see, you have gone at 9/11 conspiracy theorists, which is actually summing up my point from last episode more brilliantly than I could have ever tried to do it.
Okay.
Because it's something you hadn't seen before, and you took their tactic and you applied it to this thing that you saw. No, and you said it perfectly just a second ago.
Yeah.
Don't.
But how long after what? It had to have been no more than 5 minutes that I admitted that that I was wrong.
Because you're a high brain man.
Yeah, conspiracy theorists don't do that. They go back into the dirt. Like, well,
Or the quickness with which you were like, nope, fake. Like, I don't think that the video finished loading, and you were like, fake. That shit's fake.
there's some truth to that.
Alan, Wes, you are a highbrow man. I think very highly of you. Okay, I think you're a very intelligent person. I do. Okay,
Right.
but I hope you can understand why these lowbrow assholes that you argue with think the way they think. They don't endeavor further and try to prove themselves wrong. You proved yourself wrong, which is great. I'm glad. I'm thankful. That proves that you are who I think you are.
Right.
But I guess the whole point of this is that when you saw it, you were like, this can't be a thing. And that was the point from last episode when I was like, I'm drunk. I'm sorry.
We're gonna be 70 and 80-year-old men, and aliens are gonna land here, and you guys are gonna call me. You're not even gonna call me on a phone. It's gonna be some fucking like air dial. Like you just punch numbers into the air, and it creates some sort of teleport. Like, see, told you, you dumb bastard. Ah!
But to get myself back on track here, that maneuver that they've done to bring the starship down to Earth and the way they've done it.
Can I ask? I'm sorry. What's the point of that? Is it for safer reentry?
Okay. Yes. One, if you're able to like feather your way in, you don't burn up in the atmosphere on the way into a planet. Okay. Two, you're obviously if you're landing on like let's say Mars, which is the point of this whole thing. Nothing's paved. There is no there's no rocket launch pad for you.
Yeah.
So the point is like you don't have a runway. You have no way of taking back off unless you land this fucker ready to take back off. And so Elon's point is what we're going to do, we're going to land Starship upright so it's ready to take off again. We'll get resupplied fuel. We'll refuel the vehicle, and then we'll take it back off from where it landed naturally on its own, under its own control. And so the reason this thing blew up, the last one blew up because it came down too hard, and it just blew up on impact. Boom. Fucking spectacular. This one actually landed. It landed hard, but not hard enough to destroy itself on impact. It cracked fucking everything functional in the fucking vehicle, but it sat there long enough for the fuel to leak out and then finally catch and explode. And,
gotcha.
And
so they're gonna have to get a little, I guess, like dial in on that landing to get like the perfect amount of reverse thrust to make it safe, but also kind of okay.
And a lot of what you saw, the Helen Hunt fucking twister motion on the dust, is because they actually have like they have thrusters on there that allow it to like gyroscope. So it's like it's a 360 degree like spin even on the thrusters that are on the side of that vehicle.
Yeah.
And so like what you're seeing is creating that fucking whirlwind technique.
Yeah, that's
and again, you've never seen it before. So it catches your eye as like, this can't be real because I've never seen it before. Nothing real I've ever seen before reacted this way. But I want you to internalize and realize that you saw something that's never been done before and said, this isn't real because I haven't seen it. Whereas Alan and I saw something and said, this is a technological advancement that's never been achieved before. Therefore, I accept it as reality.
You guys are better than me, and it's fine. All right.
No. Just saying, you use the same tactic that the 9/11 conspiracy theorists use against you, against yourself.
Well, I guess kind of.
He kind of did, though.
And you know who else is in Twister is Jamie Gertz, and she's hot. All right.
You can see those little sensor balls floating around in the fucking the SpaceX exhaust. I know
That's
what
right.
you're saying.
You gotta get the F-150 caught in the fucking Twister in order to properly analyze the finger of God.
It's only F5.
The F5.
F5s.
That's right.
The finger of God.
You'd be willing to completely destroy a $25,000 pickup truck in the name of science.
And by the way, to go all the way back to the Burger King story from earlier in this episode, as soon as that fucker landed, there were stories about, is Elon Musk problematic? Look at the women he's dated.
The government was like, nope, can't have, you're gonna have to steal that fucking technology. That's ours now. NASA, figure it out.
All right, Burr. Feed me.
Let's do it, baby. It is time for 5 fun facts for you fuckers, being brought to you today by the Shin Splints Recovery Group. You can find them on Facebook. They've reached all the way to Malaysia.
Damn.
So if you got any pain below the knee and above the ankle and you're looking for a group that has some sympathy for you, check them out on Facebook. Find them. The Shin Splints Recovery Group. Let's get to it. It is officially your Fun Fact Friday, and we will start with this gem right here, and it's very timely. Did you know that farmers are often labeled as supporters of the one and the main reason of daylight saving time? But it's a myth. Farmers across the world are the one main groups of people who detest daylight savings time because they set their schedule by the sun, and it's difficult for their animals to adjust. So basically, it comes down to like them getting their schedule in line, and when you fuck with the daylight saving time, their schedules are all fucked because of the different schedules of getting things out and in, and the delivery times and all that jazz.
I'd be more curious to figure out who created that rumor that the farmers were the ones who were hand waving that say we want this.
Probably some politician.
Yeah, the government. The government.
I mean, that's usually how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
The farmers want it.
Some kind of money is affected by daylight saving time. So,
all right, what would happen if there were no daylight savings time?
The world,
nothing.
Yeah, I know nothing, but
the oceans would dry up. Humanity would cease to exist.
Fake, all fake. No, I mean, in terms, I mean, would it just? I'm just trying to think. I mean, would nights and would sunsets and sunrises kind of still happen around the same time for your time zone?
Well, yes and no. Okay. Here's my proposal, because I don't know how to answer a question specifically, so I'll answer it vaguely with a proposal that I've had for several years now, almost a decade actually. Mm-hmm. I want to get to fall, the fall back. I want to fall back 30 minutes, set it, and forget it, and be done with the whole thing forever.
Fall back for 30 minutes, donezo.
Yes, because then you would have 30 less minutes in the fall, 30 more minutes in the summer, and it would fucking split the difference. Everybody who's fucking like, what about my extra hour when it comes to September, would get their 30 minutes, not an hour, and then we would just be done with the whole fucking thing. And then no one would remember it, and it would just be a fucking... This is an archaic fucking activity that we fucking still perform, We don't need to do it anymore. In the story.
And why did they do it? They being the government, obviously.
Back in Germany, during the war, the Germans were like, we need to save on tallow, which was used for candles. And it was just a time frame thing. Like the sunlight was actually a thing that people actually needed. We don't need that now. We could operate in complete darkness in the year 2021 and not be affected at all. But yeah, it was a thing 100 years ago, and it's not a thing now. You
know, Detroit is the largest city in the eastern time zone. So during the summer months, Detroit's still light at around 9 o'clock.
Huh.
Check that out.
I did not know that.
Thank you, William Shatner.
So it's the furthest point west of the Eastern time zone?
Big city.
Okay.
I mean, there's probably a few small ones a little bit further west, but it's the furthest big that you and I would know.
It's just dumb. It's the sunlight. Okay? It's the sun. We've advanced beyond it. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Did you know?
Alan's already tired. He's like, turn back the clock.
That was an interesting fact. That the conversation about time.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I apologize. They get better.
That was a good fact. I liked the fact because I did not know that.
They get better as we go, Alan. Did you know we are completely blind for about 40 minutes a day? When your eyes move, your brain purposefully blocks your vision, which is why you can't see the motion of your own eyes in a mirror. It's called something masking. And without it, your life would be like watching a constant movie that's filmed in shaky handheld camera.
So we're it's better off if this happens to us.
Yeah, no, it's just that your brain is so much more complex than people understand. It's like, okay, Wes, Alan, did you play baseball?
Yes.
Wes, obviously you played baseball. It's like when you're running for a foul ball, like you're running full speed, like your brain only like concentrates on when you see the ball.
Yeah.
It shuts off when you don't see the ball, and that's why you're able to catch it.
Now, in this 40 minutes is collective.
Yeah, so like it's like
fragments of a second from the time you wake up from the time you go to bed is roughly 40 minutes.
Yes, it's 40 minutes a day.
Well, that's a pretty good hunk, though.
That's actually cool.
That's a lot of hunk, actually.
Yeah, we move a lot.
That's a lot of what? Yeah. I wonder if it happens when you're driving.
What's the average on quadriplegics?
Keep them fuckers open, baby. 20 minutes.
What about
they don't ever miss anything.
Quadriplegics who get DUIs.
Did you know your body is shrinking and it's never going to stop? Once you reach your 30s, you lose half an inch in height every 10 years.
I thought that was so gravity, but I thought your ears and your your nose grow.
They do, but like it doesn't stop your spine from shrinking.
Okay.
Mine shrinks.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense because typically most adults stop growing 18, 19, 21, and then you probably have the better part of the decade of good strong back muscles, and then after that, yeah, gravity fucking does what gravity does.
Yeah, but see, for folks that are like even 6 foot like yourself, Wes, it doesn't really affect you as much mentally as it does affect folks like myself and Alan.
Yeah.
You see, because I lied on my license when I was 16 and said I was 5'7", knowing full well that I was 5'6". And then last year, I went to the doctor after about a decade and learned that I was 5'5".
And this was when you were 40.
Yes.
The decade after 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm due for I'm due here in a year and a half. Do you want me to get measured? Do you want me to see if it's 5'11" and a half?
Yes,
Okay.
100% I do. No doubt about it.
You got it.
No, I mean, it's fine. It is what it is. But like psychologically, for someone who's been short their whole lives, like to know that like by the time I'm 70, I'm going to be about 4.5.
Wait, how much was it per year? You said a half inch.
Half inch every 10 years.
Okay. I don't have half inches to be given up, my man. I'm gonna be under 5 foot quick.
What you lose in height though, you gain in ball sagginess.
You gain in girth.
yeah.
Only if God was fair, and he is not.
Everybody just short, walking around with fucking Coke cans.
Right. Truck nuts were designed by a dude who was 75.
Long ass balls.
Long balls.
Did you know that blowing your nose too hard makes you more congested? When you're stuffed up, it's because of swollen blood vessels, not because of excess snot. Hard blowing shoves mucus into your sinuses and slows drainage processes, so you should either blow softly or snort and swallow.
I've been telling my wife that for years.
I didn't know the exact reason. The only reason I knew that because they being a boxing fan, they tell you not to blow your nose if you have a bloody nose. It only makes it worse. So you'll see boxers do like the thumb to the side, and they tell you that it's a big no, especially in a sport where cardio is prevalent. But I couldn't have told you that it has to do with like blood vessels and all this. To me, that's wake up in the morning and all right, I'm gonna get some coffee. That's typically how it goes.
I'm a snot rocket champion. I remember about 3 years ago, I performed my most successful double launch, unassisted, just double barrel, just fucking like pointing my head away and going full steam and like seeing it hit the ground. It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. That good snot rocket's fucking phenomenal. So I'm with you.
Double barrel snot rocket.
That's crazy.
That's no hands.
Yeah,
that's not like
seen that. I don't think I've seen that before.
Holding one down to get pressure to the other.
Wait till September. I'll give you a show, baby.
Oh, nice.
And finally, did you know? The further a cat falls, the better. Cats are less likely to be injured if they fall from greater heights. When cats fall from 5 stories or higher, they reach terminal velocity and relax their bodies, which allows them to protect themselves from impact.
To bounce off pavement. No, I did not know that. That's fucking wild.
No, I like I said, I just kind of generally thought anything long enough for them to be able to get themselves turned around on their feet was good enough. But the higher, the better, yeah?
Yeah, well, this really begs the question, why haven't we tossed cats from weather balloons? Like, if the higher, the better, I'd like to challenge this fact. I'd like to read this very slowly, because I'm very drunk.
Terminal velocity.
Yeah, so cats are less likely to be injured if they fall from greater heights. When a cat falls from 5 stories or higher, they reach terminal velocity. There's a point where you can't fall any faster because of the wind resistance.
Right.
So if I dropped a cat from 20,000 feet,
yeah,
he's just as likely to survive as 5 stories.
So are you going to adopt a cat and do this?
I wish I lived in a higher building, but I don't. Why? Okay. All right. I know PETA would have a fucking field day with something like this. Mm-hmm. But why have we not? If cats can survive this kind of fall, why have cats not been used in more military actions? Why have we not strapped C4 to more calicos and sent them in to hotbeds in the Sudan? Why have we not done that? It just seems irresponsible because the life of a cat, to me, seems a little less worthy than the life of a human being. I just feel like if you save more human lives based on the life of a cat, then it would make sense to make this happen.
What good would throwing a cat from a chopper with C4? They're gonna explode on impact. You could just throw the C4 down. What do you? I don't quite get your logic there. Were they gonna land and roam around with the C4? Oh.
And then they would go, because these fuckers don't eat beef. They probably eat seafood and other shit like that, and they would roam into regular buildings, and then we could blow them up remotely.
That's pretty tactical. But
here's the problem. Do you own a house cat? Have you ever owned a house cat?
I've not.
Know people who own house cats?
I know people who own house cats. Yeah,
they're dicks. They're literally untrainable. You can't train them. I mean, fuck. Joe Exotic almost had to shoot one between the eyes. You know what I mean? You can't you can't trust cats. Number one. So you can't use them in military operations, because that cat will stroll right back on into your base and blow you up because you didn't eat it on time or some shit. So, I mean, I feel what you're saying from a biological standpoint. Let's chuck some cats from 50-ish feet. But strapping weapons to them, I think we're playing with fire. Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, I think Murr's just trying to justify chucking a cat from a 5-story apartment building. Yeah,
kind of nailed it.
Just taking up World Trade One. Whee!
Look, where did you get that fact from?
My Fun Fact Friday calendar.
All right, so see, somebody put it on paper. So somebody had to have fucking looked something up, or I don't know, fucking even Bing something. Got something, and fucking I think we should try it. Who's got a cat that they wouldn't mind us throwing off a building?
Ooh, the lone cat that my mom has is a fucking total dick piece of shit.
Perfect candidate.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a cat, so we knew that.
Well, it's the last one at my mom's house, so I don't know. Maybe it keeps her company. He's a dick, though. We'll see. I'll bring it up.
Yeah,
say, look, Mom, what do you think?
Why not go out like a martyr? Okay, don't go out with a whimper.
Yeah,
go out with a bang, baby.
I'll say, Mom, it's for the show. Who do you love more, the cat or me?
Mom, Murr fucking got the fact from a Spencer's Gifts fucking discount, so we know it's true. Let's try it. She'll be like, that's fine.
Who do you love more? Huh? It's my show. The cat or me, huh?
Put it on Facebook Live.
You pick one.
And speaking of going out,
if the fact's right,
with a
then
whimper,
we'll be back.
That is your Fun Fact Friday.
That's right. All right, coming at you next week, we got the QAnon shaman's whiny ass mama who is going to try to stick up for her baby boy, and I get it. Fair enough. We also, if this technology works out for me, we're gonna have Murr jumping from an elementary school and almost paralyzing himself. I've been trying to figure it out for the last 2 weeks. I've had no luck. I'm hoping that this new software that I bought will take care of it. Outside of that, more videos, more fun. Alan, where can you find us?
Oh, man. You can find us on all your favorite social media platforms. We're on Twitter and Instagram at MDL Classholes. We are the Middle Classholes on Facebook. And you can find us on all your favorite streaming platforms. That's Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Almost forgot it there. Good job, me. Yeah, guys, the Middle Classholes on all of those platforms is for your ear holes.
That's right.
As well.
And I think we have a Gmail, but it's missing the A. It's mdlclsssholes@gmail.com.
Don't email us. It's fine.
We'll get back to you, baby.
Gmail was like, no, this name is a problem for us.
Yeah. Do you think we can get an old Hotmail or
I mean,
Nexus Plata?
Just sign up for AOL.
Ooh, yeah,
I think we get a lot of fucking traction if our shit's the Middle Classholes at AOL.com. I mean, at least a lot of legitimacy when we go into business meetings down the line. They're like, hey guys, so just email us all the Middle Classholes at AOL.com. We'll be in touch.
Actually,
Middle
comes
No class holes, no vowels.
0 vowels.
it comes with a free IM name, so we could chat on that one.
We can get into chat rooms like mature chat rooms and just ASL everybody.
That's right.
Yes.
Us 40, 41, 38, 35 males. 2 married, 1 in a serious relationship, but
Don't even don't put Maryland. Just put like Charm City. Make them figure it out. What the fucking Charm City?
Formerly promiscuous, kind of, not really.
Borderline.
All right. Good night, folks.